Man here. First of all, it's not only about IP rights and data and information and all this stuff, or trying to licensing the data, or trying to treating data as IP rights. So at the beginning, we want to ask ourselves a question: what is the meaning of data? What is the meaning of information? Is there the two words the same meaning, or we have any differences? So anyone has any answer? What is the difference between data and information? Yo? Okay. So we can simplify the fact. I'm not gonna go to the Oxford dictionary to show what is the meaning of data, but we can simplify it as like this. Data is like my name, my location, my photograph, my phone number, my IP address. All of this we can call it as a data. But when we try to have a meaning of the information is collecting the data and put it in some context. So I can say blue 2023, Mizar, speed, BMW. These separate words, you can call it as a data, but you cannot call it as information. But when you try to process it in some context and say, Mizar has a blue BMW, its model in 2023, and he drives it fast. So now we have information. So when I try to protect something, I want to know what is the meaning of that something. What is exactly the meaning of data, and what is the meaning of information. So after that, I can talk about governance and compliance and have a specific law and specific act in the law to protect data as an IP right or anything else. So the first thing in why we trying to protect the data in the legal perspective, because we all know we can protect it from legal perspective and technical perspective as cybersecurity or something, but we try to first try to know what is the meaning of data in the context of the legal matters. We can go to the early of the 70s when the rise of using computer to processing the individual's information and data in the European Unions, and when they have an increase in trans-border trade, and they realize that when they have a trans-border trade and that increasing, they encourage to share the data internationally. So after this stage, when they realize the importance of the data of the individuals, they set up the data banks, of course, the public administrations and the large enterprises and the large companies. When they have that amount of data, they set up data banks to, of course, to try to improve the collecting of the data and try to process it and somehow to have the efficiency and productivity. But in the meanwhile, they think about, yeah, we have the productivity and we have the efficiency of our business, but in the same time, we have concerns relating of privacy of the people. And this week that we can talk like 50 years ago, yeah. After that, treaty after treaty, and convention after convention, law after law, directive after directive. So all of this growing and rapid development of the technology and that kind of computers that we see now, till 2016, that we have general data protection regulations. The GDPR that issued in 2016, and after that we go into force in 2018, we can call it's a very strict regulation, and it's the most powerful regulation that protecting the personal data in the earth. After 2018, all of the countries and all of the regions trying to protect personal data in some way or another. So now we have a lot of countries here in the Middle East that trying to protect data with the data protection laws. But when we try to talk about IP rights in our data protection, we have to know what kind of data that we are talking about. When you talk about our personal data that some company try to collect and hire people to process the data and try to train the artificial intelligence with our data in the daily basis, and after that they create something like ChatGPT or all of these new technologies and try to take their IP rights and register it in many countries. But I have a question. They depend on my data, on my personal data. So who is going to have the right to protect the data? Who has the IP rights on that data? Me, as a producer of the data that they collected and process it in somehow and create that amazing ChatGPT, or them? So when the ChatGPT creates something, who is going to have the IP rights of that something? The ChatGPT or the developer, OpenAI, or me? So when they try to collect the data from the open source, like Google or something, also open source or closed source, after that they create something and now they sued by New York Times because they use the articles that published by New York Times and train the artificial intelligence by that data and all of this stuff. So this is the basic thing. But about my data, when we try to think about the 70s, when the first thing of trying to regulate something to help them to protect our data, it's mainly about trade, but they think also about our privacy. But for now, on that kind of technology, they try to protect it because it's only about data. I'm not going to say it's the new oil and all of these cliche words, but it's only the old thing. We're trading on data. The whole digital economy depends on data, and this data, like 80%, depends on our data. When we try to use our phone, no one of us will be happy to know that he already signed a contract and gives his approval to the company that collects his data to be aware that he is in Dubai today. And his profession is IP rights or something. And we all here in the same room, in the same time, so we have a lot of interest together. So my talk today up to end, so I want to have a question from you. We are mainly have two parts of the panel today. I'm going to introduce the data and all of the historical routing of this, and Mr. Karim is supposed to talk about the licensing the data and try to put the data in the IP context. So we are here for today. So anyone have any question? Okay, what?
So you mentioned about the lawsuit that New York Times having against the AI company.
Yes.
But that's like a copyright issue because they are copying the article, and that's different than data.
Yes,
so
of course.
Kind of, but when you during your speech you mentioned regarding how to protect our data, and you didn't answer. So what's your answer? How to protect our data?
Okay. OpenAI, when they process the data, of course, when they first collect the data and process the data and train their artificial intelligence machine on the data from open source, yes, they take the articles from New York Times and a lot of sources. But it's not only about the copyrights, because they trained that machine with the data of the articles and also with other data in that article. If New York Times publish an article and they said they put my name on the article, and OpenAI takes that article. So of course they using my personal data to train their application. And also they take my personal data from open source to train their application. Yeah, maybe in somehow it's a copyright thing, but when we try to talk about information or that kind of data, but when we try to talk about the personal data, no, it's wholly different. I cannot talk about my name, it's IP rights. I can talk to I cannot talk to OpenAI and I read to them and I said you breach my IP rights on my name and on my data. But I can talk to them about treating my data as my data. It's a privacy. It's my privacy, and I want you to give me the right that I have to exercise my rights in my data. You cannot collect my data without my permission. So yes, in New York Times case, they talk only about copyrights, but when we try to think about the model of ChatGPT that created by OpenAI, yeah, they created on tons of data from everywhere.
So, but if there's no regulation in some jurisdiction, I know EU has the privacy right and the R actually came up with the AI Act recently, but in many jurisdictions, even in the US, in many states, you don't have still privacy law or anything, even they haven't come close to the AI data privacy. So how do you protect your data in those jurisdictions, or even in Dubai or UAE, for example? How do you protect your data here?
I can't.
You can't.
This is a simple question. We can't protect our data for now because we are all live.
Okay.
Our data already live. If you ever use a smartphone, you have they have your data already.
And so as long as there's no law that prevent them continue using it or prevent them from collecting more data, so we cannot protect our data.
Yeah, of course. But mainly here in UAE, there is a data protection law, but it's not we do not have the executive regulation till now. In some places, specifically the free zone in Dubai, like DFC, they have a data protection law, and they have some update recently, like 2 or 3 months ago. They trying to talk and regulate the thing about keeping our privacy in the generative machines and the companies that trying to train the AI models here in Dubai. But
is there a name for that regulation?
What?
Is there a name?
Yeah, data protection law in DFC.
In UF?
In DFC. DFC,
DFC,
DFC.
Yeah,
DFC, it's a free zone here in Dubai. Okay. So yeah, there is a law here, and also we all know about the AI EU AI Act that they are now created the AI Act, but it's not going into the force till now in EU. We are waiting this maybe 6 months from now, and they go into force. So yeah, we all here have to wait to see it.